This is Ruger Security 380, first range report. Let's hit the range. All right, here we are out at the beautiful Banner range here today. It's about 23 degrees right now. Luckily, there's pretty much no wind, no breeze or anything, so we don't have to worry about that chilling us. And we got the smart wool socks on that Shield sent us in our Passion Pursuit box. So today, hopefully our feeties shouldn't get cold. So anyway, what we're doing out here today is we're going to be taking a look at the new Ruger Security 380. Now this is as far as I can tell, their Security 9 just with 380. Man, the slide has some lightning cuts on it. Though otherwise, as far as I can tell, it's about the same. Probably even the same magazines with just a slightly different follower in them. Anyway, let's get to it. We have our target set up at 7 yards. We'll do our first 10 shots. This is with some Remington UMC 380. I think it's a 95 grain full metal jacket. After that, we will shoot our Sig P365 380 to go against it. And then I brought one more firearm to go up against it, just for comparison's sake. Anyway, here we go. Security 380. Our first magazine through the firearm, bottom left target. Reposition this slightly. There we go. Okay, here we go. Okay, it's a very mild shooter. Little to no recoil. Trigger is perfectly serviceable. I'm not a fan of the Ruger secure action triggers, I think they call them. I get them confused with Glock. One safe action, one secure action. I don't like the Ruger one. That's just me, but it works perfectly well. 0 failures in our first magazine. That front sight is very easy to pick up. Let's see if we can, how we do with our Sig P365 380. Now I have a XL grip on here. Again, that's my preference. I think there's only 10 rounds in this magazine though. Here we go. Middle bottom target. It's a little spread out group, but our hits are one on top of the other. That's pretty good. Now the third firearm I brought to shoot today is, I don't have a Security 9. The closest I have to it is a Ruger SR9c. This is the Ruger double stack compact, not micro double stack, just a double stack compact 9mm. It's a striker fired pistol, however, instead of the, I want to say, internal hammer fired of the Security 380. We're going to shoot this at the bottom right hand target. I think this has Blazer 115 grain full metal jacket in it. Here we go. Let's see how we do. And what we see is, in my opinion, that SR9c is a beast. For its size, mild recoil, very good shooter. Trapezoidal sights on the back I pick up well. Let's move on to a different one here. Okay, I have our magazine reloaded for our Ruger SR9c. What we're going to do here before we get really comfortable today, or uncomfortable now that we have a little bit of a breeze blowing in our face with the sun up, what we're going to do is we're going to shoot some defense ammo. I got some Norma MHP on sale in both 9mm and 380, and we are going to do now the 15 round magazine out of the Security 380. This is 15 rounds, Norma MHP, I want to say an 85 grain monolithic hollow point projectile. Let's see how it does. And we're going to shoot the same MHP out of our P365 and then the 9mm version out of our SR9c. Here we go. Forgot someone else was here and that almost scared me. Okay, 0 failures. Looks like pretty decent hits on the target for our second magazine through the firearm. The majority of that is, this front sight is very easy to pick up in the current light conditions. Trigger is very shootable and almost no recoil. It's like shooting a 22. So it's really easy if you are on target to stay on target, in my opinion, so far. Let's see how we can do now with our Sig. I think we have 12 in this magazine this time. We're gonna find out. Apparently 10. We put hits on paper, but they don't look quite as good. Let's see how the SR9c now does. Now, I believe this is a 108 grain projectile, which is a little light for a 9mm, but it comes out screaming. Like screaming Willie Beeman. Here we go. Well, we put a few hits on paper. I'm going to say so far it looks like the Security 380 put the best group on the targets with the Norma ammo. Let's reload and we'll try some other ammo. We're going to take a break from the range from a moment now to go into some of the details on the Security 380. On camera, before the first magazine through the firearm, I mentioned that I thought that the dimensions were the same as the Security 9. And it turns out I was correct. The dimensions are the same as what Ruger advertises for the Security 9 Compact. The firearm is 6.52 inches long, 1.02 inches wide, 4.35 inches high, and weighs in at 19.7 ounces. Now that's about 2 ounces less than the 9mm version, if you're keeping track of the numbers. The barrel length on the firearm is 3.42 inches. The barrel and the slide are both a black hardened alloy steel, and they both have the black oxide finish on them. The frame on the firearm is a glass pack nylon frame. There are not replaceable grip panels on it like some firearms have, though you could get a Hogue grip sleeve on it if you need something like that, or even use grip tape. Now it also comes with, in a non-restricted state like where I live, it comes with one 10-round magazine and one 15-round magazine. As you can see in the pictures, the 15-round magazine, while it does add some length to the heel of the grip, with the pinky extension on the 10-round magazine, in my opinion, they're functionally the same length, the 10 and the 15-round magazines, that is. Besides caliber, one of the biggest differences between the Security 380 and the Security 9 is the Security 380 has these cutouts forward on the slide. I think there's also some material that has been removed in an effort to lighten the slide, probably to help with the cycling of that 380 round, which generates less pressure than the 9mm would. We might as well talk about the sights on the firearm since we're in the area of the slide. The rear sights on the firearm are a flat black, maybe tack and rackable metal but no anti-glare, flat black iron sights. Now they are drift adjustable for windage, though you have no elevation adjustment. The front sight on the firearm is again in a dovetail. It is a high visibility fiber optic front sight that in my opinion has a very large fiber optic filament for that big green dot on the firearm. And here's a sight picture view of that sight. A very big green dot that you can see there. Very easy to see, easy to pick up, in most light conditions anyway. Now some other features we haven't discussed on the firearm are on the left side of the frame you have a thumb safety, the slide release, and the magazine release. I would say all of those are fairly low profile, though easy to use. The safety on the firearm, in addition to preventing the firearm from firing when loaded, it will also immobilize the slide so you could not, say, load the firearm from a magazine if the firearm was not loaded, unless you remove the safety. The trigger on the firearm is the Ruger Secure Action trigger. It's the same trigger like what would be on the Ruger LCP2, the Security 9, and many other firearms that Ruger manufactures today. It's one that I'm not a big fan of, but it always works for me and works perfectly well. The one on this firearm is between 5 and 5.5 pounds, and it's very functional, we'll say. Before we go into the details on the Sig P365 380, for comparison's sake, how about a little more range time? Alright, so we are now going back to our Remington UMC ammo. Let's practice a few more magazines out of this Security 380. Now again, we're going back to our bottom left hand target here, and I just have 10 in each magazine. And what I'm going to do here is I think I'll just do 10, my first 10 with my normal grip, reload, magazine, we'll switch magazines, and then I will do 5 with my right hand, transition and do 5 with the left hand. Here we go. Actually, I don't think we have, I think we started with the action open every time, so let's look at the easy rack nature. Maybe my glove got in between. Okay, I think we're full, magazine's fully seated. Okay, just as easy. I can see around in there through the loaded chamber indicator cutout. Here we go, bottom left target. All right, now we're gonna do 5 shots right-handed, 5 shots left-handed. Here we go. Same bottom bottom left-hand target. I think I said right-handed, but we're shooting at the bottom left-hand target. There goes 5. Okay, transition would be easy if I wasn't cold. That's on me, that was terrible. I don't know if I hit the target at all with any of those shots. That first one was definitely me, that was terrible. The trigger's going to take some getting used to. The same thing now with our Sig P365 380. I ran out of Remington UMC, so the second magazine is some Selim Below. I think that's how they say it. S&B. I think it's 95 grain, full metal jacket. Here we go. 10 shots in each magazine. And the flowers are still standing. Okay, here we go. 10 right-handed, transitioning, and then 10 left-handed. Same bottom middle target. I don't don't think I hit the target at all, but we shot 5. Well, that hand's cold. Okay. And because I only have the one SR9c magazine with us today, what we're going to do is we're just going to skip right to the 5 right-handed, 5 left-handed. Here we go. Bottom right-hand target. Way too fast. Missed them all. Let's see if we can do better left-handed. Gotta slow it down. Slow it down. That's what I'm talking about. We'll have to redo that right-handed one. I was way too fast and missed as a result. Okay. We're going to take a moment now and go into some of the details on the P365 380. This is a firearm that we have featured in numerous videos on the channel, including a first range report, which we'll link to in this video. So we won't go into all the details, but we are going to go into some of them for those who have not seen our previous videos. Now also keep in mind, the P365 380 I'm shooting here today has the XL frame on it. That's going to be different than some of the pictures you're going to see here. The Sig P365 380 is a micro-compact double-stack pistol chambered in .380 ACP. The firearm is 5.8 inches long, 4.2 inches high, 1 inch wide, and weighs in at 15.7 ounces. And in similar fashion to the Security 380 versus Security 9, the P365 380 has the same external dimensions as the standard P365 in 9mm. The magazine release, slide release, and takedown lever are located on the left side of the frame, and they are low profile controls in that regard. Now the trigger on this firearm, which is a striker action firearm rather than internal hammer fired, is off my gauge approximately 4.5 pounds. The firearm has a 3 white dot tritium insert night sight, Sig night sight setup on it. Here's a view of the rear sight, which is drift adjustable for windage. And here is a view of that tritium white dot front sight on the firearm. And now we'll try to give you a sight picture view of that sight. Standard 3 white dot sight, in my opinion. Now viewers seem to enjoy when we do some of the comparison shots in these videos, so we're going to do some of those comparison shots here now. With the Sig on top of the Security 380, we see that the Security 380 is a little bigger, which would make sense. One being the micro-compact double stack, and the other just being a compact double stack. With the Security 380 on top of the Sig virtually disappears. From a top-down view, we see they're very similar with regard to width, though I believe the Security 380 has a noticeably wider grip. Before we get to the final talking points in our video today, how about a little more range time? Don't forget to like and subscribe so Freddy gets his biscuits. Alright, target cam is trying to die on me in the cold. I was able to get it on the battery back up here. I don't know how long that'll last for us. So what I have done is I have set up 2 challenge targets for us. One we're going to do with the Security 380, the other with the P365 380. By my math, there are 11. I think those are... we're going to say 2.5 inch circles on this target. We're going to see how many I can hit. 2 magazines with 20 shots, 2 magazines total with each firearm. Here we go. Starting with the Security 380. Ooh, failure. all hitting close to the one I'm aiming at. With one failure. Let's take a look at it. We have a good, that's a solid primer hit on there. I feel like S&B has hard primer. I know sometimes I have this problem with my CZs. There we go. That was the one I was aiming at. Finally. Okay, so we've hit technically 2 circles.
Now, that was a 26-inch barrel, this is a 22-inch barrel.
That's where the difference is.
Yeah, I mean, there's 4-inch difference in the barrel.
Yeah.
There we go. I feel like this we're gonna have to redo this one with ammo, a different brand of ammo. Jeebus, we loaned one hit to the Sig target somehow. Let's see how we do with the Sig.
I see no signs of pressure.
Maybe that Ruger just doesn't like the S&B ammo. That's my theory.
I wouldn't worry about it.
I mean, it's not even really flattening the primer.
You could go higher than that.
I know that.
He always went higher.
Yeah, I know a lot of people like that. I got a brother-in-law who did that.
Yeah.
He's an idiot though.
Yeah.
I mean, my shooting manual for my body.
That's a failure. That round felt really light.
I do too.
Better check that. That felt weird. No, we're good. That one felt really light. Wonder if we'll slow it down later, see if we can see anything on the slow-mo. So far, not impressed by this S&B ammo. Seems to be sometimes very low. Yeah, seems all over the place, this S&B ammo. Let's reload. I have some Blazer. Let's see if we can do any better with that. Though I think we'll have to try to reuse our target. All right, so we have our magazines reloaded here. And what I'm going to do is the first 10 shots are the CCI Blazer ammunition. And what I'm going to do is the first 4 shots of that, we're going to try to hit the third circle down on the far left side of our left-hand target. And if we hit that one, we'll just go right towards the right and then down. And so my first 4 shots, I'm going to do normal. My last 6, we're going to do double taps to try to assess how quick we can get back on target after a first shot. All right, here we go. Okay, this Blazer is better than the... This Blazer is way better than the S&B as far as lining up with where our sights are, as you can tell. Okay, the bottom, middle target, some double taps. Okay. Now for our second 10, what I have here is this is some Sig Elite Defense V Crown, which is a 90 grain jacketed hollow point. And we're just gonna aim at that same bottom middle target. And I'll do like 6 shots normal, last 2 double taps. Okay, so 4 double taps, I guess. Apparently my math is really terrible today. Okay. Okay, we're gonna do similar now with our Sig P365. That one we did slightly better with the S&B ammo. So we'll do it the top right hand little circle moving down. Okay, so some double taps now at the top right hand one. Okay, we're going to shoot at that same top right hand target. And again, this is that Sig V Crown ammo. We'll do 4 shots, normal, followed by 6 double taps. Or 3 double tap sets. Here we go. Okay, here we go, some double taps. Okay. I'm going to reposition target cam slightly. Okay, for our last mag, we're going to do 10 shots out of the SR9c at that top right hand challenge target. We're going to do 4 shots normal and then 3 sets of double taps. Here we go. Some double taps now. Okay, I think we're going to call it a day. Now our Ruger SR9c, which was our 3rd firearm in today's comparison, while it's not the Security 9, the Security 9 did replace in Ruger's catalog the SR9c in about 2017. And as a result, that is why I chose it to be in today's comparison video. I don't have a Security 9, this was the closest I had to it, and I think it was good enough for that purpose, at least for our videos. Now we aren't going to go into all the details on it. We did do a first range report on the firearm if you are curious on the SR9c, though we will show you those comparison shots now that people enjoy seeing. The Security 380 on top of the Ruger SR9c, and the Ruger SR9c virtually disappears. Though when we put the SR9c on top of the Security 380, the Security 380 virtually disappears. From the top down, we see both firearms are very similar in both barrel length and width. And also from the grip width, we see that they are very similar in terms of their width. Now speaking of grips, one area where I wish the Security 9 or 380 would have retained a SR9c feature is on the style of the finger indentations on the grip you can see here. Here's the grip on the Security 9 and it's much more flat in that regard in my opinion. We finally have arrived at the conclusion of our video today. While we fired 3 firearms on camera, let's remember that the subject of our video today is the Ruger Security 380. We will be mentioning the other firearms during this conclusion, though mostly in the context of a comparison point for the Security 380. Links for first range reports on the P365 380 and the SR9c will be included for those curious on those firearms. Before writing this conclusion script today, I was reviewing some details on Ruger's website. The following bit felt like it was almost fine print, but speaks to the heart of today's video. Here's the quote. Chambered in .380, the Security .380 is full-featured, ideally sized, and modestly priced. Now let's examine this statement, and we're going to do so in reverse order. Starting with price. The MSRP on this firearm I found to be quite surprising at $369. I was able to find it a few weeks after release for just under that MSRP. While we didn't shoot it in this video for reasons we'll soon come to, as a comparison of a different Ruger 380, the Ruger LCP Max. The LCP Max now has an MSRP of approximately $479. That is almost $100 more than this Security 380. When I purchased my LCP Max on release day, I paid MSRP, and back then, MSRP was $379. Now, interestingly enough, at the same store where I purchased my LCP Max, the price to this day is still $379, even though that MSRP is now up to $479. The Sig P365 380 we're shooting here today has an MSRP of $599. I quite frankly see them in store for a lot closer to $499, and in some used cases for quite a bit less than that, but still not at the $369 level. In my opinion, with an MSRP under some manufacturer options like the LCP Max, and also take today's comparison piece, the P365 380, and in-store prices even below that, so far, in my opinion, the Security 380 is fitting that modestly priced claim. Ideally sized, that one's going to come down to the shooter. Now, I don't find this pistol to be in the pocketable size class at all. However, people of other builds or clothing styles may feel otherwise. At its size and with the mass it has, I find it absorbs recoil very well. It almost felt like a .22 pistol, almost. Now, speaking of recoil, one of the major selling points on this Security 380 is the Lite Rack system. This is very similar to what was advertised on the LCP2 and .22 long rifle. The Security 380 has refined slide serrations with pronounced cocking ears and a lighter recoil spring. The combination of these things are supposed to make it easier to work the slide. I can confirm it is quite easy to work that slide. I'm tempted to say as easy as something like the Easy 380, and in the future we are going to be doing a comparison to find that out. The Lite Rack system, combined with the size and mass of the Security 380, I find make it a very pleasant firearm to shoot. I'm not sure if I'd use ideal to describe it, but so far I'd at least consider it a very good option. Full-featured is another point that may be up to debate. It certainly has numerous features, some that other firearms do not have, though some could say it is also lacking. The one thing I would like to see on the Security 380 that is not there is an optics-ready slide. With the extra size of this firearm, and options like the P365 380 that we compared it to today that are technically down a class in size but come optics ready in the base model, I think that is a feature some will find very important, more so as some people age. Maybe optics cut is coming in the future on a pro model or a custom version of the model. I'm not sure, but I hope so. Optics ready aside, there are some areas where I think Ruger made some noticeable improvements in this model compared to the SR line. The SR9c has a magazine disconnect, which I'm not a fan of. The Security 380 does not have a magazine disconnect. The Security 380 does have a manual safety on the left side of the firearm, whereas on the SR9c, the firearm has an ambidextrous safety. The magazine release is reversible on the Security 380, so I don't consider the change in mag release from ambidextrous to that one-sided as a loss, but that's just me. Things like the tactile and visual chamber indicators have been removed. Some people will miss the presence of such features, but I am not one of those people. In the place of where the tactile chamber indicator was located, a cutout has been left so a visual check for a loaded chamber can still easily be done. Now, speaking of that visual check, if there's one area that we can knock the Norma ammo that we fired here today, it is in the style of brass that they use. That dark grayish brass might look cool in the marketing materials, but through the little pinpoint holes in the barrel for a visual check, not so much, in my opinion. Returning to the features of the firearm, another nice feature of the Security 380 is the manufacturer-included 15-round magazine. In today's high-capacity enamored world, consumers want more capacity wherever they can get it. One area where I'd say the P365 still has catch-up to do is in the manufacturer-supported 15-round magazines. While I've had 100% reliability with the 9mm magazines loaded with 380, I would very much prefer to have 380 specific ones for peace of mind. Today we fired 3 different kinds of range ammo and 2 different kinds of home defense ammo. I would say we had very good reliability and accuracy today. Some people are probably going to jump in and yab it here and bring up the S&B ammo. I am removing the S&B ammo from being factored in here today. With both firearms today, we saw that ammo had not only quite questionable accuracy, but also reliability issues. Now, I'm no Annie Oakley, but most of the time when shooting on video, I feel like even if I'm not pinpoint accurate, I'm at least on paper. With the S&B ammo from both firearms today, the only thing consistent with that ammo's performance was the inconsistency. And as a result, I don't think it's fair to include it in the assessment other than to say, it's important you have ammo you know works in your firearm. With the Remington and Blazer target ammo and the Sig and Norma defense ammo, I'd say we had very good accuracy. And with that ammo, we had 100% reliability. Now on the topic of ammo, the manual for the Security 380 recommends using only standard factory target and home defense ammo. Ruger advises against using plus P ammo out of this firearm. They probably do out of all their firearms now that I think about it. In the future, we will be doing some chronograph tests with the Security 380 to see if that little extra barrel length translates to higher velocity or things like better hollow point expansion in our home defense rounds. So look forward to seeing those videos probably starting this spring. The easy part of that final statement is all we have left to examine. The firearm is, as stated, chambered in 380 auto. Whew, that was easy. Before we sign off, some people might be wondering why we chose the P365 380 for the first comparison over something like the Ruger LCP Max. The simple reason for that is size. With the XL grip on my P365 380, I consider that firearm closer to being a compact double stack. Of all the 380s we have access to, it is probably the closest in size we have to this Security 380 while still retaining the double stack magazine capacity. In the future, we will be taking a look at this Security 380 against other firearms like the Ruger LCP Max, the Glock G42, a Kimber Micro 380, the Smith & Wesson Easy 380, and many other non-380 firearms as well. And now to the conclusion. After shooting a few different types of ammo through the Security 380 and firing it against a couple firearms of similar intended use case, I would say so far the Security 380 could be an excellent choice for those who are recoil sensitive, as well as those that are fans of the 380 and are looking for a firearm that is larger than a pocket carry or micro compact double stack. The Lite Rack system makes the firearm more accessible to those who have diminished hand strength, grip issues, or other mobility concerns. The front sight is very easy to see, and while I think the large dot is a trade-off of higher visibility for decreased pinpoint accuracy potential, I think the sights are more than good enough. With the sights being in a dovetail and the firearm being the same size as the Security 9, if you're not a fan of those sights, you can replace the factory sights with ones of your preference. At a capacity of 10 and 15 rounds, the firearm has a high capacity to meet the demands of today's consumers, though at 380 you will pay more of a premium for ammo than you would for the 9mm version. All in all, so far, I'm very happy with the firearm, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it performs in our ongoing 380 comparison series. I hope you found this video useful. Thanks for watching, and as always, have a good day.